TIFU by committing crimes, disappearing, and falling in love. All right, Reddit, this is going to be a long one, so grab a snack and settle in. It's a wild ride, and you're not going to believe half of it, but it's all true, I swear. I used to be just another cog in the corporate machine, working a 9 to 5 at a mid-sized accounting firm in the city. I was good at my job, but the pay was mediocre and the hours were long. I was drowning in student loans and credit card debt, barely scraping by. One day, a coworker mentioned a little trick he used to make some extra cash: creative accounting. Just a little here and there, skimming off the top where no one would notice. At first, I brushed it off, but as the bills piled up, the idea started to seem more appealing. I started small, just a few $100s at first, but once I realized how easy it was, I got bolder. A few hundred turned into a few thousand. I opened fake accounts, funneled money through dummy corporations, and before I knew it, I was embezzling large sums. It was thrilling like a game, and I thought I was invincible. That is, until the day I noticed discrepancies in the company's accounts. My hands shook as I realized my scheme had been discovered. Panic set in, and I knew it was only a matter of time before the authorities came knocking. I couldn't go to prison. I just couldn't. So I did what any rational, totally not terrified person would do. I vanished. I cashed out my bank accounts, withdrew all my savings, and bought a bus ticket to the first random town that popped up on the screen. I left everything behind: my apartment, my car, my friends. I cut all ties, destroyed my phone, and adopted a new identity. It felt surreal, like stepping into a different life. I ended up in a tiny town, population probably less than my high school graduating class. It was the kind of place with one diner, one gas station, and a whole lot of nothing. Perfect for someone trying to disappear. I got a job under the table at the diner, working for cash and keeping my head down. I rented a cheap, run-down apartment on the outskirts of town and did my best to blend in. Then one night, she walked in. Ellie. She was the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen, but not in that Hollywood, unattainable way. She was real, with a kind of quiet strength that drew me in. She sat at the counter, ordered a coffee, and we started talking, and talking, and talking. I don't know how it happened, but by the end of the night, I felt like I'd known her forever. Ellie had her own scars. She'd come to this nowhere town to escape an abusive ex. She didn't talk about it much, but I could see the pain in her eyes. We were both running, both trying to find a place to start over. Over the next few months, we grew close. She never asked about my past, and I didn't ask about hers. It was like an unspoken agreement. We were here, together, and that was all that mattered. Life was good for a while. We fell into a routine. I worked at the diner during the day, and we spent our evenings together, talking, laughing, and dreaming about the future. For the first time in years, I felt happy. I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, I could leave my past behind and build a new life with Ellie. But of course, life isn't that simple. One morning, I noticed a black SUV parked across the street from my apartment. My heart dropped. They'd found me. I knew I couldn't run again. Not without Ellie. So I did the hardest thing I've ever done. I told her the truth about everything. I expected her to bolt, to tell me I was a monster and never wanted to see me again. But she didn't. She listened. And when I was done, she just looked at me with those steady eyes and said, "We'll figure this out." Together, we made a plan. I turned myself in, with Ellie by my side. The legal battle was tough, but having her there made it bearable. I hired a good lawyer, came clean about everything, and threw myself at the mercy of the court. I expected the worst, but thanks to Ellie's support and my lawyer's skill, I got a relatively lenient sentence. Prison was hell. There's no sugarcoating it, but Ellie visited me every week, without fail. Her letters kept me sane, and knowing she was out there, waiting for me, gave me the strength to get through it. I did my time, and when I got out, she was there, waiting for me. We moved again to another small town where no one knew us. We started fresh, slowly building a new life together. It wasn't easy. I struggled to find work with a criminal record, and there were days when the weight of my past felt unbearable. But Ellie was always there, reminding me that we were in this together. I eventually found a job in construction, and Ellie started her own small business, a bakery, that quickly became the heart of the town. We got married in a simple ceremony, just the two of us and a few close friends. Life wasn't perfect, but it was ours. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I had a future worth looking forward to. So here I am, a free man, sharing this story with a bunch of strangers on Reddit. If you're ever in a spot where running seems like the only option, just remember you can't outrun yourself. But sometimes, if you're lucky, you can find someone who makes facing your past worthwhile. And if you do, don't let them go.